Great.
and informal.
Yeah.
This is our little camera right here,
Cool.
Jen, and we're hanging out with a bunch of people from all over the world right now.
Is it good to lean or is it good to probably stay up?
Doesn't matter, but this, whatever
If
feels
you
comfortable.
feel
Can you
comfortable.
play into that?
There, you can look at them. I try to make it a little bit smaller so that we don't look too far away from the camera, but we all do it, don't we, guys? We
Yeah.
all kind of look down on whomever is talking. But it's really fun and casual, like I said. Let me quickly introduce you to everybody here in the Hangout. Hey, we've got Jennifer Finnigan from the new show called Monday Mornings is that on TNT?
It's on TNT.
It's on TNT.
And Bravo Canada. I know that much.
Bravo
Oh.
Canada.
Yeah.
I don't think it's on Monday mornings, but it's called Monday Mornings. We're going to hear a little bit more about that in a second. But first, Jen, I want to introduce you to everybody here in the Hangout. We have Cliff, who's hanging out with us from New Jersey.
Hi. How are ya?
Kempton is in Calgary, Canada.
I
Hi,
see that
Jen.
flag.
Yes,
Nice.
I know. I love
Yeah.
that he has that there. Michael is in Augusta, Georgia.
Hey, Michael.
And Renzo is got his flag. I don't know if you recognize it. I can't see with his head, but he's in Venezuela.
Wow.
This morning.
Hello.
Yes.
Hey.
And we've got a bunch of people actually watching us on air right now on YouTube. So if you guys have any questions for Jen, just send them this way and I will get them to her. Okay. So let's talk about Monday mornings. I was reading a little bit on it and I remembered, I was like, oh my God, this is a show that was based on Dr. Sanjay Gupta's book.
Yeah.
Did you read the book?
I did read the book. I only read the book after I got the part. Not that I
Sure,
wouldn't have.
no, yeah.
But actually, the book had just come out when the
Yeah, 'cause
pilot was
it's-
being cast.
Yeah, it's actually, I think it was written and then all of a sudden it was a show.
That's
Yeah,
kind of what
you know,
happened.
yeah.
I think the story goes that Sanjay was about to come out with the book and David Kelly got wind of it and said, do you mind if I read this? And then it turned into, do you mind if I turn this into a show?
That's amazing.
I made sure to tell Sanjay that doesn't happen all the time.
No, I know.
I was like, Sanjay, don't get used to that.
He seems like a really nice guy. I've never met him. He is a doctor, as you guys know.
He's an amazing guy.
So the show is centered around doctors,
Yes.
obviously.
Yes.
And who do you play?
So I play Dr. Tina Ridgway, a neurosurgeon.
Okay.
And the show
Neurosurgeon.
A neurosurgeon.
Neurosurgeon.
Wow.
Sexy.
I know.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, well, I wear my hair back. I'm in scrubs. I look good. I'm not wearing nearly as much makeup. Very official looking. But it's about basically, and I never knew this, but in every hospital around the country, there are these mandatory meetings called these morbidity and mortality meetings. And the chief of surgery runs these meetings, and it's completely confidential, but they air all the dirty laundry of what happened that week. So if they made mistakes in the room, God forbid if they lost someone, they talk about their successes too. But they have to air it all out, and their peers can really attack them and go at them and say, you did this wrong.
Really?
And this really happens.
So it's in every hospital that you're saying that this happens?
And it's really sort of an unknown thing. People
I had
don't know
no
much about it.
idea.
Nobody else is
Wow.
allowed in the room.
I mean, I'm kind of glad that they do have something like that because
To learn from it.
psychologically, as well
You're
as
held
professionally,
accountable. You're
yes.
held not liable because it's confidential,
Right.
but you're totally held accountable, and you have to come face to face with the mistakes you've made.
And that's really the bottom line. I mean, these are human beings.
Yeah.
There are mistakes that occur all the time.
Exactly.
And we forget that, you guys. If you have a question for Jen, just let me know, okay? And get my
Yeah.
to
Don't be shy, guys.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Kempton. What's your question?
So Jen, how is it like playing against Alfred? And what kind of doctor he plays now? Alfred.
Yeah.
Alfred Molina plays the chief of
He's
surgery.
great.
So,
Oh, right.
pretty intense. We all have to answer to him. He's
On the set too? No.
it's funny. He's such an amazing guy. He's been around for so long. He's a Tony winner.
Completely.
He's just a vet, and there's nothing fancy about him. He will just sit around, hang out, tell stories, make everyone laugh. Everyone loves this guy. If you
That's
talk
awesome.
to anyone in LA, anyone in New York, people love this guy.
That is so good to know and
Yeah.
to hear, actually, about Alfred.
He's amazing. But then on the show, he's really mean and very stern and scary. And exactly the opposite.
So let's talk about that, like the research to play a neurosurgeon and
Yeah, oh, it's
Vertigo.
it's late, but yeah, let's see. Is she back?
Rolls out some new features.
Yeah.
Because this is still fairly new, even though it's been around for about a year or so.
Okay.
There's still some little bugs that they're trying to work out.
Are you guys back?
Yes.
Yeah, we're back. Hey,
You hear us
love your
okay?
faces.
I was just asking the question about the research that Jen may have gone into for this to play for this part or this role, and also the kind of sort of God particle or the God complex that we have, associate with some doctors sometimes.
Yeah.
Is that something that you had thought about or
It
found
was
in your research?
definitely. I spoke to a lot of surgeons, not just neurosurgeons, a lot of just surgeons in general. The one that made the biggest impression on me was a female neurosurgeon out of New York, in her late 40s, extremely successful, just a real good, grounded woman. And as a woman in the medical industry, especially as a surgeon, you really have to make choices. You have to kind of decide, okay, maybe I'm not going to ever have kids. Maybe I'm never going to get married.
That's for all. I mean, that's for many women in the professional field.
You're absolutely right. It is, but there's something about being a surgeon. I mean, this woman, she said something that really impressed me because this is not something I could ever do. She can subsist on 3 hours of sleep a night.
That's unhealthy.
That's all she gets, and that's enough for her. Now,
Enough. Wow.
There are
But
very,
Sanjay's that way
very few
too.
people who can do that, though. You guys,
There
there
are.
are so few people.
because Sanjay's that guy too. Because I asked Sanjay, I'm
He
like,
doesn't sleep. Yeah, what is it? How does he
he
do
will
all this?
He'll do like little increments of sleep, but he doesn't need. Some people just don't.
There
need
are a
it.
few
and if
people.
you can be lucky enough to be that person, so she was amazing. She was also what I loved about her. I said, look, tell me, like your level of sympathy when you're seeing death all the time.
Yeah.
When you're delivering bad
Right.
news.
Do you get desensitized to
Exactly.
that?
And she said, absolutely not. She said, I cry with my patients. I hold my patients' hands. These are human beings. Like I love them and I care for them. And I want, when I have to deliver bad news, it's heartbreaking for me. And I really took that and ran with it because trust me, I met a few neurosurgeons that were
I've met some doctors who
numb.
Yeah. Like cold.
Yeah.
Totally cold.
Yeah.
And egos, crazy egos.
Yes.
But of course that exists a lot in my
And
business
everyone else.
too. So.
That is not a nice picture of me, Josh.
Is that?
That is not a good photo of me.
I love it.
Okay, go ahead, Kempton. Yes.
Yeah. Speak about neurosurgeon. I am serious. I find it sexy because actually in Calgary we have the neuro arm, like it's a robotic arm where we developed here and whatnot. So are there toys that you are going to use in the show, or it's more like hand and knife and like they're really advanced robotics? They do neurosurgery.
Arthroscopic surgery and all that.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that you bring up the robot in tonight's episode. It's actually based on an experience that Sanjay had. We're performing, myself and the other surgeon, we're woken up in the middle of the night. I won't mention why we're together in the middle of the night. Nonetheless, we're woken up in the middle of the night and the doctor turns on his laptop and it's a guy in Afghanistan in a tent. And his buddy has been shot, and so he is trying to save him. So he's doing everything over a robot. It's this robot that has a camera.
That's wild.
Follows around
That's
the room,
wild.
knows exactly what to do, and these exist.
Yeah.
So Sanjay had to do this. He had to perform a surgery from the States on someone in Afghanistan.
Wow.
And basically using
That's
this robot.
insane.
Using a machine. Oh, it's not like a hand, like a machine, not just keyboard, right? Like
No, but
the
the robot didn't perform that surgery, but the robot assisted.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Who was in Afghanistan performing.
Cool. Yeah.
Now, do you have to learn all the terminology? And I mean, that must be one of the harder parts of them. I've heard from others.
Yeah, I mean, the terminology, it's not terrible unless you're tired. And then you're screwed.
Like retaining all those.
There's certain days where we had just done like a 16-hour day the night before, and I was like, I have 10 pages of medical jargon tomorrow, and I just started to tear up.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Oh my god! Well, listen. Jen is Jennifer Finnigan. Check it out. Monday mornings. It's on TNT. I should say, Doctor. What's your character's name? Dr.
Tina Ridgway.
Dr.
To
Tina.
Ridgway.
Dr. Ridgway. Excellent. Will you take a quick photo with us before you go?
Of course.
Okay, here's the camera right here. Yeah. Cheese.